Today I'm going to show you how to change the front crankshaft oil seal and the serpentine belt and the issues caused by it. So this is a remote part, and this one is the belt that I have used. It's an aftermarket one, $10 part, which was easily available from the market, not from the regular shop. You can see the part numbers. It's made in India, and this one I got it from the seal shop that I used to buy parts for my high pressure fuel pump. This one is the original that I removed from the car, and this one is the high temperature oil seal that I bought from the seal shop, which is aftermarket. It's not intended for BMW, but it fits in properly. So you know the friction wheel, the harmonic balancer, the tensioner, the bolt for the tensioner. It's E12 one, and E10 bolts for the harmonic balancer, and 10 millimeter bolt for the friction wheel. So these are the things you can see. I have already removed it, and I'll be showing how I removed it. So this one is E12. Then you got the tensioner thing. This one is E12. For removing the tensioner, I use 16 millimeter and 10 millimeter for the friction wheel. So those are the things. Flathead and Allen key to lock the tensioner in there whenever we need to remove the belt. So those are the tools. Now we're gonna start removing the bonnet cable. I just keep it about the oil level check. What do you call it? That thing. Now the HFM. Just pull out the air filter compartment. I'm just fast forwarding. You might be knowing about this, but whenever you take it out, be careful. The line to the turbo, you should not break it, so be careful with that. Once you got it, you have enough access, as you know. There is oil spill all over from the front crank shaft seal. So you can see the belt has been ripped because of the oil in there. It was slipping from the tensioner part, and it was ripping off my serpentine belt. So I have changed about 3 serpentine belts. This is the 4th one. That's the reason I'm going for aftermarket one, which is really cheap. So friction wheel, you have to just pull that particular cable and lock it there so that it stays away from the belt. So you have enough space. Next thing is you need to remove the friction wheel with 10 millimeter socket. It's having very less torque value. So whenever you put it back, be careful. Just tighten it with your fingers. That is my recommendation. Most of the parts in this car get screwed up soon. Mainly the threads get broken soon. And here is the clip. You just push it down and pull it out. That is how you wanna take it out. See the clip, the locks, you just press it there and you can pull it out. Yeah, that way. You can see oil spill all over. You have to clean the oil before you install it back. Now we're gonna remove the belt. For removing the belt, actually, if there is no oil spill, then you can just remove it without removing the tensioner. But in my case, there is oil flooded all over, so you have to remove the tensioner. You can see the belt started shredding. It starts shredding from the engine side, and it will just penetrate all over. So you have to use the E12 box. It's a long thread one, so you have to loosen it for a while to get it out. As in my previous video, I have shown you my electric wrench. I'm not using it because I don't want to screw up my threads. The electric wrench is a Chinese one, that's why. So you can see here, it's a long bolt, and all over there is oil spilled. I'm not gonna change the tensioner because we'll seem to be fine. Now I'm gonna take the belt out. It just goes through the alternator and the AC pulley, the clutch pulley, that's it. And from the harmonic balancer we have already removed, and you can see the shredded belt. I'm gonna keep the belt in my trunk itself because I'm not sure if this will solve the problem. Now you have to use the what do you call E10 to remove these bolts of harmonic balancer. You can also use E12. There is no much difference in size. It will fit in properly, and the tightening torque is not too much so that you can get it out easily. When you put it back also, be careful with that. You are not having too much torque. You don't want to turn your engine anti-clockwise direction. That's the reason I have used an 80 millimeter box to hold the center bolt just when you take it out. Yeah, you got all the three E10 bolts out. Now you're gonna take the harmonic balancer out with help of flathead screwdriver. Just insert it in and it will fall down. That's it. You got it out. Just clean it with a brush. A toothbrush can be used to clean the harmonic balancer. Now you have to clean the engine bay part. You can use whatever cleaner it is. Once you finish cleaning, you can start removing the oil seal with a flathead. Go ahead, just insert it in inward direction and just pluck it out. It's so easy to get out, and I felt like it's of very low quality. It doesn't wait for the price. It's really thin, and I don't feel the quality in it. So that's the reason I thought of going for an aftermarket one, which is having high temperatures. So cleaning and oiling the new oil seal, which is a high temperature rubber. Whenever you see this color, it will be of high temperature. And the tool that I have used for putting the oil seal in is from the genuine BMW oil seal. So I was having it in my toolbox. Just pushing in it evenly will get the oil seal in. This is a bit time-taking process as you are not accessing the car from beneath the engine bay. You are just accessing from the top. If you have a lift, this will be much easier. Now you see it has been through the front side. Now you have to insert it further in. For that you can use the old seal, and you can just tap it with the hammer. You should not use much force in it while you hammer it. It should be very light, evenly hammer all over the area so that the oil seal get in properly and evenly inside. Don't get frustrated, do it really slowly and be gentle. there is a groove in there, so you have to check if it has reached the groove borders. Once it reaches there, and when you feel that all the surface is evenly in, then you can stop. So it seems to be fine. I'll show you. See, it looks okay. And when you start the car and check, you can see if any oil is leaking. So for replacing the oil seal and the belt, you don't have to remove the battery. So you can just go ahead and start the car. Now I have checked thoroughly if there is any oil leak or not. So there is no oil leak, so I'm gonna put everything back. If oil leaks further, then it will be because of the PCV. So you have to change the PCV membrane. So you have to use E10 Torx to tighten it. And you don't have to hold the center bolt to tighten, because whenever we tighten, it will be rotating in clockwise direction, and there is no issue if we rotate the engine in clockwise direction. So you can go ahead and tighten it. Now you can just keep the belt in its position, as this one is an aftermarket one, and it's not intended for this particular car. I'm gonna check if it is okay or not, just to see if the teeth fits in properly. So it was fine. I just counted the tooth and bought this belt by checking the length. So that's the reason I checked it now. So I'm putting the tensioner into the position after cleaning. We can install the belt after installing the tensioner as well, but the space between the tensioner and the engine is really small, so it'll be a little bit difficult to insert the belt in between the engine and tensioner to get it in. So this one is easy if we have the tensioner out. I'm gonna tighten it with E12 Torx box. You can see there is no gap, and make sure it aligns to the body properly. There is a what do you call a particular groove for the tensioner, so you will not miss it. Now tighten it thoroughly, not too much. I'm not mentioning the torque value. If you need the tightening torque, I can mention in the description. But I don't recommend going for the complete torque value. You might break the bolts. When you work with the N13 engine, you have to be really careful. I have broken many of the bolts by tightening it to the torque value. Well, most of my bolts are really old. That's the reason I'm not replacing every time. So now here you have to use 16 millimeter box to take the tensioner to its installation position. This is to lock the tensioner. You can use either a drill bit or Allen key, but my belt is aftermarket one, so there is a small difference in the length, like around 15 to 20 millimeter. There is difference, so you can see if we lock it like this, it will not get into the position. So you have to apply more pressure on the tensioner, then only the belt will get into the harmonic balancer. So as I told you, this is not intended for N13 engine. This is a generic one, the belt. So that's the reason I had to adjust it with the tensioner. So installation of the belt is complete. You check thoroughly if the belt is in position, the grooves and all, the alternator side and the AC compressor side. Just by feeling like this, and you can see from the turbo side as well by looking from there. So make sure all the grooves are cleaned with a toothbrush before you install this particular belt if there is oil spill. Now time to install the friction wheel with 10 millimeter bolts. As I told you, be careful whenever you tighten the bolts of friction wheel. I will recommend you to use your finger tightening torque. It's like 10 Newton meter. That's it. Not more than that. And now release the wheel from the lock so that the friction wheel will go and hit the belt and water pump pulley. Water pump wheel. It's not a pulley. It's a wheel. Now time to connect the friction wheel electrical connector. The friction wheel is fail-safe mode. So if the friction wheel is faulty, the water pump will work in any case. So you don't have to worry about friction wheel. We're gonna finish the installation by putting the air duct back. Be careful, don't break the inlet of turbo. And make sure the bonnet line is coming from the top. Otherwise, you have to remove it and take it back to its position. Now, hit film connector, HFM. So we are almost done. Just putting the cable back in position so that we will be able to open the bonnet. If you miss this, you might get locked. So that's it. Hopefully this helped you guys. Just hit a comment or a like button if you like the video.